This is the second time the Dutch elections are heading into elections for the past 2 years, and this comes after the collapse of Dick Schoof's elections earlier this year. And the reason that party, which was made up of a coalition of 4, collapsed was because Dirk Wilders, the head of the PVV, pushed these very aggressive policies that not only cut down on immigration, but also wanted to deny refuge seekers asylum in the Netherlands, and also wanted to cut down on funds for education, especially for international schools and English-speaking programs, which would affect our school, especially considering we have a lot of international students, making this a very important issue for all of us here. Now, the Dutch elections this year have had a very exciting sort of change. 27 parties were at the ballots this year, and for context, the Dutch Parliament has 150 seats, out of which the PVV, which is an extremely right-wing party, as I mentioned, was expected to take the majority of it. However, the D66, which is, well, a centrist party, more left-leaning, has made a stunning comeback and almost tripled the number of seats that they've had since last year. Rob Jetten, who is the leader of this party, could potentially be the Netherlands' youngest and the first openly gay Prime Minister of the Netherlands. However, he does really have a rather difficult job because the Dutch government is sort of built on coalitions, and without the coalitions, the government will collapse. But a lot of these parties don't really like each other at all. So the VVD doesn't really like the GroenLinks PVDA, and the D66 is not very keen to form an alliance with the JA21 either. And if these alliances don't form, because coalitions are such an integral part of Dutch politics, the government could fall again. And now I'm going to hand it over to Francesca, who's interviewed a bunch of AUC students and asked them about their opinions and perspectives on the Dutch elections.
Hello everyone, this is Francesca, and on the spookiest day of the year, we're gonna ask AUC students about one of the spookiest topic ever, which is Dutch elections. Okay guys, what are your feedbacks about the Dutch elections?
It could have gone worse, could have gone better.
If it wasn't so close, I'd be very happy.
We can be satisfied because Wilders is not going to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, my expectations were low, so they've definitely been surpassed.
I've just been checking the polls and hoping for the right-wing downfall.
I don't know if they've officially concluded now, but I know they counted most of the votes. I mean, I saw the polls, and I mean, the prediction I think were that PVV was really going to dominate. So it's pretty happy to see that at least D66 is kind of neck and neck.
I was really afraid that PVV was just once again going to be the biggest, and that Ja21 would also get really big, and that we would just have an even more far-right coalition than we had before. But that did not happen. So my take is very much it's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
It was nice to see that, I don't know if I can say nice, but that the right lost all their seats basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I was surprised that the center coalition had so many votes and that the more left-leaning parties didn't get as many.
The coalition from the center seems really strong at the moment. Of course, what I hoped for was a bit of a rise of more left-leaning parties.
On the topic of housing, people like me that would like to stay in the Netherlands after university, it's quite of an important topic, and I
definitely
hope that the housing crisis becomes better.
Okay.
One of the ZZZ's main thing was we want to build 4 more cities and a shit ton of housing.
Yeah,
can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've already done it before, Mom.
Did I? Oh, okay. But yeah, if they do that, that's good. And there was...
They also want to build 10 cities.
10, not 4.
No, the more the better, I guess.
Yeah, and that seems good.
I mean, I saw that, the liberal parties that have the most votes, they have a lot of housing propositions in their agenda. I saw some of them are I think they're a little bit ambitious. I saw D66 wants to create 10 new cities.
I downloaded Instagram Threads recently, and everyone on Threads is ooh, the Dutch voted out their far-right government. It's no, they didn't, guys. PVV is 26 seats. D66 is also 26.
Yeah.
They're in the lead by 15,000 votes, so they get to start the new government. It's just a misunderstanding of parliamentary democracy, where because they're Americans, they think, oh, whoever has the most seats is the winner. And it's no, it's whoever forms a coalition.
Okay.
And the likelihood of a good coalition is quite low. I feel it's kind of going the way of Poland, where we basically have a third-party coalition that's far-right. Their alignment is center-right, but they are in a coalition and faction with the center left, just because they present themselves as, well, they dissolved recently, but they present themselves as the third way. Basically, they're just saying, hey, we have a lot of the same beliefs as the main right-wing party, but we're not them and we refuse to work with them. So it actually leads to a very unsuccessful government, because you have an actual left party working with this party that doesn't agree with them, but just refuses to work with the other guy.
I heard that the party that was elected is around the center, leaning towards the left, but that's how it presents itself. Like, I've heard that has turned to the rightish during the past few years.
I am sad because D66 used to be a pretty left-leaning party, but they have shifted so much toward the right recently. So me and my friends, we always feel a little bit betrayed by D66, just because they used to be a pretty good option for us, and now they're really not. We call them VVD Light. What Rob Jetten seems to want, based on the interview I just saw an hour ago, is that he wants to form a party that has a bunch of parties from different angles. So both the Green Leftist Party as well as VVD, which is a right-leaning center party. And I don't know whether he would be willing to have the PVV in that. It might be necessary, but no one wants to work with the PVV. Pretty much everyone always says, we don't want to work with the PVV, they're too difficult. And they are not good at ruling. They showed that the past year.
VVD doesn't want to work with GroenLinks, and then these people don't want to work with these people don't want to work with these people.
Just the sheer amount of parties that won't touch anything PVV related is nice. It's nice that they are the right-leaning party with the most seats, because they're also one of the more extreme ones, so less people will touch it. Whereas if it was someone like VVD, have equal seats to D66, you'd have so many more centre parties willing to do something with them.
It's kind of good that it's PVV on one hand, because many of the other parties will refuse to work with PVV, but it's also kind of bad because if you have a party that has similar beliefs but refuses to work with them and now has to work with a party with opposite beliefs, they're not going to get stuff done. Which party has the most seats? For 26 seats to be the most seats is very low. So that means they have to make a coalition with quite a few other parties, right? Because they all have low numbers of seats. And so because of that, as we said, if they have to work with, a party that doesn't really align with them, they're going to have difficulty actually creating impact and passing policies and things because everyone disagrees even within your own coalition.
Okay.
Well, it was interesting but not unexpected to see just how left-wing our student body is. The general consensus that we've sort of come to is that most students aren't completely satisfied with how the Dutch elections have gone, but they are better than the results that they were expecting, and it could have gone worse. So at least it's not completely gone to shit. And that's all for our coverage of the Dutch elections. Thank you so much for watching, and that's it.